Hello gang, how are you? This is Friday Night Fashion, and this week Amanda Wakeley and me, Jo Elvin, we're going to be doing something a little bit different.
We are.
We're giving you a double barrel. We're double teaming you with a little bit of
Secondhand September.
Because
that's what it is.
And then we're going to have a quick scoot over to Venice, because why not? And have a look at what's been going on with the fashions on the red carpet there for the film festival.
But we thought we would start with Secondhand September, which is something I am beginning to feel more and more passionate about. Not only are we destroying our planet with overproduction, it is just crazy what the industry is doing. They say that fashion production is responsible for 10% or more of global emissions. So in the spirit of buy less, buy better, rewear don't care, we thought we'd give you our views on Secondhand September, what our great places to shop from are, and what fun it is, actually.
Isn't it? It's so interesting what you say, that I'm old enough now to remember, and I think a lot of people will not remember a time when the shops had summer clothes came out, and every time you went into a high street shop, it stayed the same for roughly about 3 months at a time. You weren't getting like new drops, sometimes twice, sometimes more times a week.
Yeah.
You weren't buying something and then wearing it once and throwing it away. It's insane that we've become this kind of a place.
It really is. And then particularly insane is that you cannot buy the clothes that you want to wear at the time that they're on sale. So you cannot buy swimwear in August.
No.
You can't buy a winter coat when it's freezing cold in February because it's gone on sale in December. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
So we're going to do our little bit to inspire you, and it's very inspiring anyhow, getting on some of these sites, going out shopping. Yes, we are going to go out shopping together at some point.
Yeah.
Just hoping it's not going to cost too much.
But also another plus for vintage and buying secondhand is how many times, particularly if you are an avid high street shopper, and you know I'm the same, that you find something to wear to, say, a wedding or an event, and you think, I love that, but you know that there's at least a 50% chance that somebody else is going to have it in the same room at the same event. And that all is eradicated with vintage shopping.
It so is. And actually, the more you get into it, the more exciting and slightly addictive it becomes, because you find those. Look, I'm in my Doors t-shirt, which I love.
I love a vintage
18
band
quid.
t-shirt.
Thanks very much.
Where'd you get that?
I got it up in Cheshire when I was visiting my mother. And this girl.
Did you steal it from your mother's wardrobe?
I did not
steal
it from
secret
my
Doors fan?
mummy's wardrobe. No, she's not a secret Doors fan. She didn't have a clue what I was looking at. Anyhow, I got this in London. It's a man's tuxedo jacket, and it's absolutely beautifully made. The lining in this is all embroidered. It's gorgeous. It needed a really good dry clean, and a lot of secondhand clothes do. But you know what? Give them a new lease of life and take them to the dry cleaners, and then they're yours, and you feel it's a fresh start.
I got in trouble once when Mary Portas was doing a show all about vintage, and they made me, as the editor of Glamour, try on an outfit. And they're like, would you wear it, Jo? Do you like it? Do you like it? This is before vintage was much of a big conversation. And I said, yes. I said, it does have that eau de charity shop aroma. And everybody looked aghast, but it's true. It was all a bit mothbally, and I get that. But you can 9 times out of 10 get it out.
Yeah. You can. And even just airing stuff outside, especially as it gets colder, a little bit of frost really does kill off any of that lurking bacteria. God, that sounds horrible.
No, but
it's true.
Sunshine bleaches stains. I spilled curry on my white jeans.
Yeah.
And I was in Australia.
That's impossible,
it
surely.
Was so annoying. And it was sort of like that horrible bright orange and I was like, oh, they're over. And I hung it on my mother's washing line in 35 degrees Sydney summer heat, and it was gone. And I realized sunlight bleaches stains.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're just learning. Every day's a school day with me and Amanda.
So doing my research, I found out that the fabulous activist designer Catherine Hamlet is doing a brilliant secondhand September little campaign, and she is printing secondhand t-shirts, donated secondhand t-shirts with her No More Fashion Victims logo. And I still remember Catherine Hamlet from back in the 80s and the 90s, where she had these fantastic, huge logo t-shirts. And I think what a brilliant combination of Catherine Hamlet and secondhand t-shirts. Great. And that's all in aid of Oxfam.
Yes.
So look out
and it's
for
going to
those.
say no more fashion victims, the slogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we start with online sites
Sure.
that we both love?
Yes.
You're a big Vinted fan, aren't you?
I do love Vinted, and just a little plug. I sell quite a lot on Vinted as well. Bella Luna 38. My dog's full name is Bella Luna Tallulah Dogson.
Luna over there is not very impressed that her name has been borrowed.
Bella Luna 38. But what I look for on Vinted is my favorite brands. I think if you've watched this a long time, you know I'm a little bit obsessed with the Italian brand La Double J. They've got some amazing stuff on there being sold via Vinted. I got a gorgeous tile print pink and black shirt there for something like £50. When
the prices on Vinted are incredible.
Well, and it depends how long. If I've got something that's been on for 5 minutes and somebody offers me a ridiculous price, no. But then somebody came to me and offered me a markdown on something that's been on there for 6 weeks, and I'm like, fine, because I want to get rid of it. So it's kind of like, it's supply and demand. But 50 quid for a shirt that in the shops would be 400, it was amazing. So you can really find some gems on there.
I might have to commission you.
Yeah, do. Yeah.
Bella Luna 38.
Yeah,
it's going to have both of us.
Yeah, incredible.
What I loved about Vinted was the searches. A friend of my mother's actually has just bought 2 amazing cashmere sweaters. One was a brand spanking new 2-ply heavy Johnson's of Elgin cashmere, never been worn, 50 quid. And the other, I hate to say it, was an Amanda Wakeley cashmere and satin, beautiful, never ever been worn. And that went for something like 65 quid. And that's a £350 sweater.
Is that like my one you gave me that's got the clothes my husband hates embroidery?
It is.
I'll never sell that, Amanda.
Oh, you better hadn't.
I will not. Yeah.
Proper.
I love it.
One-off.
I know, I love
one
it.
Off. But so, very impressed with Vinted. And they've got an authentication service, did you say?
Oh, yeah, they have, because I tried to sell a pair of Gucci's on there, but because I didn't have the card, they wouldn't let me. So they're hardcore. You're not getting ripped off on there.
But that's good.
Yeah. So I sell them on Instagram.
One site that I love for more designer pieces is Vestiaire.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for Vestiaire, even though I know there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. I mean, I go to Vestiaire if they're, like I did last winter, there was a pair of Bottega boots that I really loved, but I was not going to pay full price for, and I wanted them before the sales and all the rest of it. And I got them for, I think, about 65 or 70% off retail, brand spanking new in the box. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So
I'll give it a go.
If you're targeted and you know exactly what you want, I think that's a good resource. eBay's still doing a fine business.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? It's again, I'm quite overwhelmed by eBay.
I am too.
I much prefer something more curated and something that I find easier to search, because sometimes even when you put a search into eBay, it doesn't really whittle it down particularly well. They need to work on that.
I used to search on eBay for Amanda Wakeley to make sure that there were no counterfeits, and the amount, back in the day, I would be sending emails about 6 different pieces that were definitely not Amanda Wakeley. I think all of these sites have got a lot stricter about the counterfeits. But talking about edited and smaller sites, I have found that Relux is
I don't know this one
site, and you've got to be a bit lucky, but at least it's a quick site to flick through.
Because I'll forget.
Quick site to flick through.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of really lovely pieces on there, and they're less expensive than Vestiaire. And Sign of the Times.
Yeah.
Now, Sign of the Times, back in the day, used to be the place that people would take their clothes to in Chelsea
Yes.
when they'd had enough of them. And it's totally reinvented itself.
Yeah, it's huge at the moment. I remember I went in there, I got a Diane von Furstenberg dress in there years ago. And I remember asking to try it on. They are funny in there. They like, you take clothes in, and a friend of mine took some clothes in, and she was told that it was all a bit too Dick Turpin. And so they wouldn't have any of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're really picky.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I would say about Sign of the Times is that they give you something like, if you're taking things in to sell, they give you something like a 3-month window. And if you don't follow it through and pick it up, it goes straight to charity, or it's theirs.
Yeah.
So I would flag that.
Yeah.
But it's a good resource.
Indeed.
Then we're on to vintage stores.
Yeah, and I'm really a big fan of Beyond Retro. I'm not wearing secondhand today, but if you'd seen me yesterday, I was wearing one of my beloved Hawaiian shirts that I found in Beyond Retro.
How many Hawaiian shirts do you
I've got
wear?
quite a few. Because
I share them with Ross.
He hates them. He's so upset that I like, and I got 2 in LA last year. LA is amazing for vintage shopping.
It's phenomenal.
And so I think I've probably got about 8. Yeah.
Yeah. We might see 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah, I love them.
On the old vintage.
No. I like them. I wear them. I'm not going to sell those. You can't have them. But yeah. So I love Beyond Retro. And I love just there's a flea market in Shoreditch, I think, or Spitalfields, one of those that I go to quite a lot.
I haven't been to that, but there's an amazing market in Brick Lane. It's underground. It's enormous, and if you've got time and patience, there are some really great finds.
We're taking out LA Bestie there on the weekend. I can't wait.
Brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I still love Portobello.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Friday mornings, that's where all the fashionista crowd tend to go on Friday mornings, pick up inspirational pieces. But beyond the market, there's Portobello Road. There's some great vintage stores there. There's Found and Vision, which is lovely, and it's quite curated. There's Relic on Goulburn Road, which is just a vintage institution, and they buy and curate really, really well. So there's a whole heap of places. The other thing I would say is charity shops.
I love charity shops.
And my tip for a charity shop is stay in a nice area, because that's where they get the good donations.
My daughter loves charity shopping.
I wouldn't really, I'd stay in a nice area.
Yeah. And then there's one in just off Carnaby Street in Oxfam, where, because of where it's situated, they do charity stuff, but they also get a lot of dead stock from some of the shishi boutiques around there.
Oh, amazing!
So it's a good place to get new stuff at a great price as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
One of my annoying charity shop moments was, there's a brilliant one around the corner from here called Trinity Hospice, and it's just on the King's Road, and it's a great charity anyhow. And I went in, God, it must have been this time last year, and it was a beautiful. No, it wasn't. It was just before Christmas, and I remember thinking, don't need it. There was a beautiful dark brown man's Ferragamo lamb suede jacket, single-breasted. It was perfection. It was 200 quid. It hadn't been worn. It was beautiful. And I slept on it. I went back the next day. It was gone.
Of course it had bloody gone.
I know. I'm really gutted. I'd have worn it all last winter and all this winter.
I mean, that is just such a rookie error.
Never again. Never. And the thing
this would not have happened under my supervision.
If you're not spending a fortune on a charity piece, piece bought in a charity shop, you can always redonate if you get it home and realize a month later that you haven't worn it. It's not going in landfill. You're just going to raise more money for charity.
Yeah.
Now, I do have one very funny story to tell you about a little secondhand purchase that I made about a month ago. I found what I thought looked like the perfect pair of sort of beach trousers on Vestiaire, Jean Paul Gaultier. sort of mesh, really cool print. I thought, oh, great, you know, throw them on over bikini,
Yeah.
t-shirt, all of that. They arrived just in time before our trip to Ibiza, and I put them on and I looked in the mirror. And I had bought them on the strength of the pictures and they had been laid flat. I put them on. I looked like I had a pink, saggy vagina on the front of my trousers. That was part of the print.
Have you still got them? Can you
back,
put them on?
sadly, no, I got rid of them. On the back, it looks like I've got a bunch of cherries coming out of my bottom. So not a good buy.
So this was like obviously
I think he was having a laugh.
A deliberate move on the part of the designer.
I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing about print and print placement is luxury goods tend to have mirrored print placement, which is beautiful and a sign of real consideration.
But Jean-Paul Gaultier, his whole thing is that sort of like cheeky Euro trash
kind of.
And
I think it was a sort of a note, you know, as in money, but the way the placement, and I promise you, I know what I'm looking at generally, but when you put it on, I thought, that's having a laugh. It's not on me.
I think I speak for everybody viewing this, that we're very disappointed that we've missed that moment. I think I would love to have seen you.
The thing is, I was selling some pieces at a vintage store, and I had them in the back of my car because I was so annoyed with myself. And
how much did you pay for them,
I took
Amanda?
them in. I paid £175 for them. I didn't get that back. Anyhow, I did circulate the money, and it just reminded me to look at the print placement.
I've never had it because I'm not as good as you at vintage shopping. You need to teach me the ways.
The other thing I noticed when I was doing my research on this, because I couldn't help myself sort of look at Amanda Wakeley's stuff. And this beautiful chunky cashmere cardigan, never been worn with a satin back. And so I zoomed in on the label. It was filthy. Oh. It was so filthy. Nice. I just thought, why would you take a picture of a filthy label and then put it up and say it's never been worn? Anyhow, yes, just look at the pictures really carefully is my 2 cents worth of advice.
Some people might want to look like they've got piles walking around out there. That's what it sounds like.
Piles in Ibiza.
I remember my only story. I went vintage shopping with the hairdresser James Brown in Las Vegas when we were working there together, and I just didn't have the patience for it, and he was absolutely insistent. We went to this enormous Salvation Army warehouse. It really was quite something. We probably spent about 3 hours there, and he was adamant he wanted me, and he bought it. He was like, I'm going to make you wear this. I was like, I am not wearing that. It was a velvet bodycon mini dress with a real low plunging neck that was all covered in diamantes. It was kind of stunning in a very 80s kitsch way. And I was like, no, that is not me. I'm never wearing that.
But you've got the legs for it.
I disagree. But then, so he took it and he was like, oh, fine, I'll give it to somebody else. Next thing I see, Kate Moss had a birthday party and she's wearing it. And I texted him and said, that is the home for that dress, not me. That was like, yeah. But I bought a Chong Sam that day that I wore to a friend's wedding. Although these days I'd probably be cancelled for cultural appropriation. But it was so beautiful. It was like a turquoise and silver metallic, really, I loved it. Yeah.
I bought beautiful kimonos. Talking of kimonos, I have noticed that there's quite a few kimonos being made from vintage saris. Oh, wow. And so they've been, a few designers have been chopping them up and putting them back as kimonos. And I bought a gorgeous floor-length one and next to no money. And
where?
Saint-Tropez.
Oh, you and your bloody Saint-Tropez bargains. I'm so annoyed. I'm really jealous.
Well, you're on holiday.
I know,
soon.
but not in Saint-Tropez.
We'll save you so much money.
Yeah.
We should get on to Venice.
Let's do it.
God,
when was the last time you went to Venice?
A couple of years ago, I have to say. I love Venice. It's so romantic.
I've been once, and I think it was 2011, so I'm due.
You are so due, so overdue. No, a really, really special place. Although I have to say, we were woken up, we were staying with some friends, and in a beautiful, beautiful house on a canal. And we were woken up at about 6:30 on Sunday morning with the flood sirens going. And it was before it flooded really badly the week later. It was actually quite a sort of panicky sound. It was not good.
Gosh, yeah.
Anyhow, the celebs have not disappointed us on the red carpet in Venice. They've really taken a few risks. We've seen some just gorgeous looks.
So glamorous.
It's so glamorous, and there's nothing better than them getting off those vaporettos onto the steps of some gorgeous palazzo. Yeah, listen, I'm off. It's romantic. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Rachel Weisz looking glorious. I'm not so convinced about Daniel Craig.
I like his suit.
I like his suit, but he looks like he's been on a complete and utter bender.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he looks less polished than he normally does.
He's just getting old. Even James Bond gets
Join
old.
the club, hey?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we were loving Leslie Manville.
Leslie Manville is just class from head to toe.
Yeah.
I will not have a bad word said about Leslie Manville in any context.
Wouldn't dare.
She just looks like a Greek goddess.
She does, in that draped Loewe gown.
Oh,
gorgeous.
I once saw her. I was at the National Theatre watching a play one Saturday afternoon, and there were some youths who were just talking and on their phone and chewing gum and like having this loud conversation. And they were a bit scary. Nobody did anything about it. And in the interval, I saw this woman going at them for about 10 minutes, and it was Leslie Manville. And then they didn't do it again.
She wasn't in the show, was she?
Fuck with Manville. No, I think one of her friends was, though. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly mention Isabel Huppert, because I just think she looks joyful.
She looks
She's got
incredible.
This little beret on and this long sleeved embellished gown. She looks incredible.
That is great, because I don't normally own Armani, but that is.
We know that.
It's
you have
really
mentioned
cool.
that before.
But hasn't she been doing a turn of wearing? I'm going to get my B's mixed up. She's either been wearing only Balmain or only Balenciaga for quite big swathes of this. So that's interesting that she had that on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, one person who I usually love, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, Philippine Leroy-Beaulieu. She is the actress in Call My Agent. No, not Call My
Emily
Agent.
in Paris.
Emily in Paris,
Yeah.
even. And she's just, I love her style. I love her as an actress in that show. It just makes me smile, because it's all a bit kitsch and silly, but she's very, very chic and older woman sexy. And
Yeah.
what's not to love about that? Not loving her floral Erdem dress, I have to say.
It's pretty, but I'm just not sure it's the right event.
No, it's just a bit blah
Yeah.
for her, when she's normally a sort of sex bomb. I love her in her sex bomb role.
Yeah.
Tilda
Oh,
Swinton.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's kind of slightly, Monk from Out of Space, but that's Tilda, isn't it?
Out of
I mean,
Space.
it's just, and I love the blue shoes. They're incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Not what I would say is typical Alaya. I mean, it's quite drapey and goddess-like, but whatever, it looks gorgeous.
And I just love that combination of those aqua shoes and that bright red lip. It's just heaven.
Yeah, very, very, very clever.
Julianne Moore dressed like an Oscar.
She is dressed like an Oscar. Interesting reflections from the red carpet onto her gold sequins.
I think it's great.
I mean, it actually, I reckon that dress probably photographed better than it looks in real life.
Bottega.
Tilda again in custom Del Pozo.
Looks incredible.
On the jetty, looking, with the shades, with the heels. I think that's just a super, super chic.
She's so sharp, isn't she?
Yeah.
You can imagine that. I almost feel like it's almost like a robotic sharpness. I feel like she would go home and get plugged into a unit for the night rather than go to sleep and snore like the rest of us. Do you know what I mean? It's just like something about, a bit. I've been known to every now and again. Yeah.
You and me both.
Have you not?
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah.
And your favourite couple?
Oh, just a bit bored with George and I'm sorry. Apparently that film is terrible. I have haven't seen it.
Moving swiftly along to our absolute all-time favourite, Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett won Venice. There was just not one bad outfit.
She wins everything.
She's just...
How does she get it all
she's
so
stunning,
right?
and she's my old mucker. Mary Greenwell does her makeup to perfection. They've been collaborating for years and years and years. Every single outfit. And my favourite, I think, was she pulled out a black and white polka dot trouser suit from, I think it was Moschino, and I want it.
But here in the Louis Vuitton strapless gown, it looks velvet. It just looks exquisite.
You could just tell that she just packed that suitcase and she was off to have fun, baby.
Yeah.
Getting dressed in those gowns every day.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, I can't even really see what he's wearing there.
It's a flared tux suit,
right,
with a black t-shirt underneath. I actually quite liked it. And there's masses of hasn't he had a facelift, blah de blah. Okay. Do we care?
I don't.
No. Felicity Jones.
Now, this is Lady Ono, Nikki Yates has styled her, and I love this Dior dress.
It's beautiful.
It's really chic.
Yeah, super chic, effortless. I love Stacey Martin.
I love
in
this
Vuitton. It looks I just love the coat dress element of it, flippy skirt, and then the check cummerbund belt.
I love a boot and a bare leg.
I love a boot and a bare leg.
Yeah.
And then
there
Kate
you go.
again.
Look at her.
And interestingly, when she wears Armani, she obviously collaborates very, very well with them, because whenever she's in Armani, it's looking great on her.
Yes, because if things with Armani, I bet you at one point that sort of like sleeveless chainmail thing had a little froofy cape on it or something. Do you know what I mean? They always just overdo it for me, and she's just made it really edgy.
Yeah, I would think that embellishment was over a gown, probably, and instead she's made it into a pretty edgy top.
It's super cool.
It's super cool. Super, super cool. And
that's weird, isn't it?
How do you pronounce her name?
Kaylee Spaney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a mint green Miu dress with a bodice keyhole cut out so much her nipples are barely covered.
I've got to say though, that dress would be great for my boobs, because mine don't talk to each other without a bra. They're basically like Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. They're like that. That's my boobs without a bra. So that dress, I could wear that.
They're like,
yeah.
Now I reckon Emily Rajowski is in a vintage Gucci there. That looks like Tom Ford.
I think you might be right. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I love that colour.
It also,
colour of the glass, by the way.
It also really reminds me of Tom Ford when he was at Saint Laurent.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All of that's Gucci, I'm sure. I'll look it up. We'll tell you what next time. And I think we should close on Nicole.
Oh, Schiaparelli.
Schiaparelli.
Oh, I love it.
It's gorgeous, but I find it slightly disturbing. Her head is bigger than her waist.
There was not much sitting down going on that day, was there?
No.
How does she do that? There must be some really painful corseting going on there.
I don't think that's healthy. I really don't think that's
healthy. I know, but just for a photo for me to look at of an incredible dress for 5 minutes, I'm quite happy.
Do you know what? Even her thighs are nearly smaller than her head. That's just, okay.
It's kind of an amazing dress, though.
But on a really positive note, Sophie Wilde in that Loewe gown. Oh my God, that is, to me, that's the gown of the red carpet.
I love that sharp fringe as well.
Just absolutely gorgeous.
It's really incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful midnight blue. It looks like voluminous, but it's also like hugging in the right places, and it looks like it would actually be quite comfortable.
Yeah. And I bet that moves beautifully. I'm always one for how it moves. Anyhow, hope you've enjoyed this episode. We've gone from the ridiculous to the sublime and back again. And sending love. Follow us on YouTube. Please keep your comments coming. We are going shopping, I promise.
Yep.
And we're not sure where yet. We'll let you know. And see you next week.
Bye.